I guess we could talk about Bangladesh and everything, or the UK. Actually, real quick about the UK before we watch CoffeeZilla. If you guys don't know, there's riots in the UK, like 12, 14 cities in the UK have riots, and they're basically anti-immigration riots is like the cause. I'm trying to approach this delicately because I think these riots are incredibly stupid, I have to say. But I don't think the concept, I guess I hate calling every single person who calls for any immigration reform a racist. I think that's counterproductive. So I don't like that. However, these people are wild, okay? What I want to say happened is there was someone who knife attacked 3 children in the UK, but people started spreading on UK social media that it was an immigrant. It wasn't. It was someone born and raised in the UK, but they started spreading that news. And then that went viral and it kicked off this whole riots against immigrants where people were literally going to hotels that had refugees in them and ripping down the door and trying to drag them out, which is insane. It's insane. It's frustrating to me because I think even the people doing this, they look like a lot of them are working class UK people. They probably have a lot to be upset about, and they're taking it all out on other poor people, other people that are struggling. It's so annoying to me. It's such the wrong target. I don't think they should have violence anyway, but if you're gonna like go march, show up at Rishi Sunak's house. I don't know. I found it to be very, very disappointing and bad. This is what the media complex does. I don't think it was the media. It was the social. I mean, this is social media, unless you're counting that part of the media complex. But it just went viral that it was like, and then people responded to that, and now I think they're just generally upset, and they have a right to be. Again, as we've seen, the #1 export from the UK right now is videos, YouTube videos on how bad the UK is doing. That is the #1 UK export. British people are all making videos about how bad the UK is doing, and they're all getting 1 million+ views. Okay? We understand it's bad. And if you're an average citizen in the UK, you're angry for a variety of reasons that you don't fully understand. But it's crazy. It's just crazy that like every time somebody finds a way to be like, you know what the real problem is? This poor migrant worker. If we could just get this incredibly poor refugee out of our country, all of these people that are stealing from us from above and taking a bit of our paychecks, that'll sort itself out. It's crazy to me. Is it possible that both can be true simultaneously? It's a very dangerous line of thought. It can be true that, and this is like where you get pushback, but I'm just going to say, because I truly believe it, completely unchecked immigration does lead. I mean, there's a great, can't remember if it was Teddy Roosevelt or Truman, but it's basically saying if we don't have some sort of like assimilating immigration process, we will end up as a nation of feuding tribes. And that is 100% true. I believe in that. However, I think immigration is often used as a scapegoat. Actually, I know it is used as a scapegoat constantly for things it has nothing to do with. It is constantly used as a scapegoat for the reason your paycheck is smaller, or why groceries are more expensive, or why housing prices are up, or where all of this, it is not the reason. And we never talk about the more complicated, hard to talk about things, with like the fact that the Federal Reserve is bailing out boomers constantly, and asset prices are constantly responding in an uptrend. So you can never get on the property ladder. You can never get on the stock ladder. Like, we don't talk about that stuff because it's more complicated. It's hard to understand. We don't know who to blame. And it's just easier to blame someone who you know you can beat. And that's why it frustrates me. That's why it frustrates me. Even though I don't think that every single person who's like, hey, we need immigration reform, I don't think they're a racist, bro. I don't think that's crazy to say. Yeah, I don't think that's crazy at all. So it's tough. It's tough to ride a line. It's such a polarizing issue. How do you explain the social decay though? Social decay is a product of a low trust society that is probably a product of getting scammed constantly. We're constant marks. Every thing is trying to scam us at all times. And again, I think people are way more trusting. They're way nicer. I think they're legitimately, you could say, less distrustful of other cultures and groups and people when they are economically not squeezed, when they're not pressured. I think history bears that out. Slightly off topic. I'd love to hear your thoughts on ASML. ASML is a, I believe it's Dutch, I'm sorry, lithography company that makes these $600 million machines that are used to bend light and encode the information on the wafer of a chip. And nobody on earth can do what they do. That's why they charge so much. They are extremely valuable to the world economy, and their machines get bought by Taiwan, who uses them to actually make the chips in their foundries, TSMC. So ASML is extremely important. The United States, despite not owning ASML, it's not an American company, still has strict rules on who they can sell to. The United States military strictly enforces the fact that ASML cannot sell their machines to China because they are extremely, extremely, extremely valuable and important. And there is an incredible amount of money in trying to get secrets from ASML, trying to figure out how they do what they do, any insider information. If you worked there and wanted to defect to China, you could make a bunch of money, I guess. It's very, 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 very high stakes. It's very high stakes. It's, again, the level of knowledge they have is close to magic, as some people are saying. It's like so insane. My understanding, and again, this is beyond my pay grade in terms of engineering, but the understanding is that if you took one of the glass on an ASML machine, which has to be perfectly flat, like perfectly level, and you blew it up to the size of the earth, the difference between the highest point and the lowest point would be 3 centimeters. It's so truly level that it's unreal. And it's one of the reasons we, as highly evolved monkeys, can put magic instructions using light onto sand and play video games with each other across the world. It's crazy. My roommate who worked for ASML made smiley faces with individual atoms. That sounds like cap to me, but I guess it could be true. I was not aware that you could rearrange individual atoms into a smiley face, but I believe you. I mean, I don't think you totally make it up. That's crazy. That's incredible. Yeah, I mean, ASML is truly a tech company. You know what I'm saying? They're not a ChatGPT rapper. They are a true high-tech company with like serious industry secrets that are extremely valuable. Is the stock getting super inflated like that? Small question here, but obviously not. Anytime a stock is what you might call overvalued, and again, nobody knows. Nobody can tell you it's overvalued. We're just guesstimating. But once a stock is overvalued, it's only good for the company because they can hire people and pay them in stock, which they do. So they can hire better people and more people, and they can acquire companies using stock. It's like, yeah, it's just all good. They love it. They would love to. And then their executives get paid more, and it's all winning. And the only people that lose are people that invest. If you buy Apple shares when they're overvalued, and then eventually they go back to what they should be valued, then you lose money. Hey, they are. I think when I'm explaining it, I don't go into the weeds of it, but it's mostly because people they're constantly rolling these debts over. But obviously, when you take it out, it's fixed at the time you buy it. Your old debt doesn't immediately go up, but you're rolling it over for new debt. It effectively works the same. So what you're saying is we need Taylor Swift to do another world tour? I think we need to bring back NFTs, JPEGs of monkeys, a Taylor Swift world tour, AMC to the moon, GME to the moon. What's another 2121 things? What was your favorite part of 2021? We need to bring all that shit back. COVID. COVID lockdowns. You know what? Stocks were up when we had COVID lockdowns. Coincidence? No GPUs. The fact that you can buy a GPU means that stocks are in trouble. So we need to all put the masks back on. I mean, to be honest, can I say something? I don't want to get super political with this, but when I hear people say that they're super excited for Trump because of, quote, the economy, I literally think that is their only line of reasoning. It's like, hey, he was there in 2019 when burger was cheaper. So if we just put the picture back the way it was, it'll bring everything back. I legitimately think that's the only, I don't think there's any more depth to the idea than that. There's not like anything he's talking about doing. Because listen, I was critical of both Kamala and Trump in that presentation, but nothing Trump has talked about doing would be good for inflation. Just if he's not, it's like versus someone who Kamala doesn't seem to know about inflation other than the definition, and then his plan seems actively bad. So it's not two great choices, I'll tell you that. But I just love that he always talks about solving it quickly. No matter what the problem is, he's always like, "We'll fix it, and we'll fix it quickly." All right, it might be harder than that, bro.